everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Shop Adventures, my weekly excursion where I leave the homestead here at Athletic Geek HQ in search of my bounty of comics, graphic novels, action figures, collectibles, and all things in between. First things first, time to talk about what stood out from last week's bounty, and all 5 books were pretty good. None of them were bad by any stretch of the imagination. The ones that really stuck with me, Batman, James Tynion IV has started his run, and I'm very much interested in it. They have a moment that almost got me choked up there at the end. Slight spoilers, so kind of cover your ears for just a moment if you don't want to be spoiled or haven't gotten to that book yet, where Bruce he kind of completes a mission, and Lucius is now helping him because of what's happened to Alfred, and he finishes the mission, and Bruce kind of contacts Lucius and says, Alfred, instead of saying Lucius, he says, Alfred, get this together. And then Lucius like, sir. And he's like, oh, right. And then you just kind of have this little sad moment there at the end. And it just got me right in the feels. Because I really thought they were going to bring him back. And they haven't. And son of a bitch. I'm not going to say like it was a bad call because I'm feeling something by it. It's not like, I'm not trying to rain on Tom King again. I have a lot more respect for him than some other people on YouTube. But it's not like he did a good job with that in the sense that he didn't I don't feel like I was betrayed like with the wedding. Like I'm actually feeling sad about this. So, if they want to keep Alfred dead I don't think they'll do it forever, but if they want to keep him dead for an extended period of time, I think I'm gonna have to support that decision just because it's made me feel stuff, and that's the hallmark of good writing. Excalibur was really good. Really, again, slight spoilers. I apologize, but I can't really talk about it without spoiling too much. Really like what happened at the end with Rogue. Just really, really awesome, especially as a Rogue fan. And, I thought Savage Avengers was cool. I kind of like the team up of Conan, Doctor Strange, and Doctor Doom. It's a weird team up. I didn't think I'd get into it that much, but I dig it. So, all the books were really good. I haven't really been able to get into the manga that I bought just yet, but those will probably those will have their own reviews for when I get to manga. If it's with all the wrestling, gaming, anime, and comics I read. Unfortunately, the manga might take a fifth seat, but fourth or fifth seat. But we'll get to it eventually. Whoop, almost dropped the camera. But yeah, that is what stood out from last week's bounty. I will see you guys when I get back here at the homestead with this week's bounty. Hey everyone, I am back here at the homestead, right here at Athletic Geek HQ. Got a somewhat bigger bounty this week, but not by much. But let's just jump right on into it. The first things first, we have Avengers number 29. I've liked this new story arc so far from the Avengers. Jason Aaron's still in the book. Still a big fan of his, and yeah, really been enjoying it, really been liking it, and I hope the momentum continues. I really like what they're, the last story arc had Ghost Rider, and I never really was a huge Ghost Rider fan, but, I'm kind of digging him in the Avengers and what he's doing, so I've come to the conclusion that Jason Aaron makes me care about characters I previously did not care about very much, so kudos there, but yeah, this is what I'm looking forward to reading. It was a couple weeks ago, I remember it was one of the books that stood out the most, so let's hope that it continues. Avengers number 29. From there, we enter the world of DC with Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 7. Matt Fraction is doing a fun job on this book, and it's kind of... I warn you now when you first start... If you first start reading this, or if you, go back, if your local comic shop has the previous issues, it's kind of odd at first. And I mean odd in the sense of just how it's written. It's not like another book. It's several small little stories, like a bunch of them. Like some of them are just a couple pages long, and they're all kind of just. I don't even think some of them don't even tie together. They just kind of all tie into one another in the next issue. So it took me a little while to get used to that, And now there's we're in issue 7 of 12. So I mean the series is wrapping up here in the next few months, but. Still, I really enjoy this book because I really, Matt Fraction knows how to make a normal person be put in a situation where they have to be heroic. Is this as good as the Hawkeye book? Absolutely not. But Hawkeye book's probably one of the best comic books ever written, in my opinion. But is this a book that kind of is a little reminiscent of that Hawkeye book? Yeah, I believe so. And I still really enjoy it. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 7. From there we go to Flash Forward, number 5. And, I'm glad this is kind of wrapping up. I haven't really been feeling it too much after the last issue. But if this leads to the return of Wally after what they did for him in Heroes in Crisis, I even forgot the name of the book because I didn't like it that much, then I'm all for it, and that's a good thing. So that's all I really got to say about this. Flash Forward, number 5. And from there we go to The Flash, number 86. Yeah, I love this book. I love what they're doing with Captain Cold, the multiple Captain Colds in the multiverse. I love it. I love how they tell the story of, while Flash's rogues don't like him, there's still like a weird sort of respect between, especially Captain Cold and the Flash, and they do a good job of this in the show too, but in this book I really think they're really putting that over in a good way, to where, even Flash's enemy, at least the rogue enemies, maybe not exactly Grodd or some of the other ones, but at least like Captain Cold and whatnot, they don't want anything to happen to the Flash, at least in terms of, him dying or, being permanently injured. They just don't want him to stop their crime. So, it's kind of an interesting dynamic, one, like I said, they've done on the show, but you don't see in the books very often, and I think it's just kind of, it's a refreshing take on heroes and villains in this day and age. Flash, number 86. From there we go to Legion of Superheroes, number 3. And yeah, I got to get the, unfortunately they were all out of the normal cover. I had to get the variant cover. So there's that. And I've liked this book so far. I like what Bendis has been able to do. Never really read much of the Legion previously, but I really feel like this is me being introduced to these young heroes from the future in a nice way, and I feel like this plays to Bendis' strong suit. You've heard me kind of say that I feel like he should only be writing one of the 2 major Superman books, and I stand by that statement, but I feel like this is a good book for him to write in addition to the Superman book he chooses not to write. I'd love to see him have a run on Teen Titans. I feel writing the younger hero is Bendis at his best. I know there's going to be a lot of Bendis fans that disagree, and I'm not saying that's the only thing that he's capable of writing. But what I am saying is, to me, I feel like I enjoy his work in stories like that a little more than I do the others. But we will see. Still really like this book so far, and I hope I continue to become a fan of the Legion through his writing. Legion of Superheroes, number 3. And the final book from this week's pull list, and the last part of the bounty this week, is something that unfortunately I don't have a whole hell of a lot to say about. It's Nightwing, number 68. It's not quite as bad, with, them bringing up the Talons, and, Dick's still kind of involved a little bit, but still not really. It's not as good as the Kyle Higgins run. It's not as good as it, it ain't as good as it once was, and that's about all I can say about it. It's pepped up a little bit, but still not really the book that I'm super excited about, and that hurts. As I've said in the past, it hurts me to say this because I am a big Nightwing fan. I want to look forward to reading Nightwing, but so far it's just kind of been like on the lower side of not even like might be good. It's kind of like let's get through this one, but we will see. I've been surprised before, and we'll see what happens. Nightwing, number 68. And that is it for my bounty this week. Let me know what you picked up at your local comic shop in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of comic books, but from the world of gaming, anime, pro wrestling, and all things geek culture. Go like my Facebook page at facebook.com/athleticgeek89. There you will find every Thursday my collection comic of the week blog. That is exclusive to my Facebook page. But on that, I'm out. Y'all be cool.